Today is push day, and our aims are number 1, to do some heavy dips, number 2, to get some clean back lever holds, and number 3, to push bodybuilding accessories. So I've just warmed up with bodyweight dips, and now we've got 25 kg on the belt. And my aim is to dip 100 kg added. So I weigh about 85 kg. I want to dip 185 kg or more, depending on how much I weigh at the time, with added weights. So 25 kg moved pretty well. I've just got 45 kg on the belt, moving this for 3 reps, and moves decently. And for our top set, we have 65 kg. And we begin with the first rep, moving decent, a little bit grindy, but go for the second after that. Again, a bit of a grind, but I thought I moved okay, so I decided to go for the third, but I don't quite get it. But anyway, moving down, we go to 45 kg again, doing pause reps with this. And as you can see, the setup that I have present right now is using a box and having the dip bars relatively high. So a lot of people, they set the dip bars at like wrist height, but actually you want to set them about chest height. Use a box, so that way you can start with your arms straight. And if you can start with your arms straight, you just have a lot more stability, because especially when you go heavier with dips, stability is everything. And paused dips, as I'm doing here, so I got 45 for 7 in this set, which isn't too bad. The paused dips are really good for building that bottom level strength. So now I am showing you how I set up with 45 kg. So I've got King of Weighted belt, which is a really nice, proper street lifting belt. With the box, the nice thing is that you can set up the plates on top of them, especially with bumper plates. You can get the belt, thread it through, have it even. Then you can get into position. So what I do with these dip bars, because they're not really the best dip bars, they're okay, they do the job, but they are a bit too narrow by themselves. So I put on fat grips, which are 1.75 inches in diameter, I think, which just gives it a bit more thickness, a bit more stability, and less wrist pressure as I go heavier in weight. And the aim with these pause reps is just to have a little pause at the bottom, like 1 or so second, nothing crazy, but it means you just have to produce that force from the bottom position. It really trains you to have consistent production of force from the bottom position. And now the rings are set up, and I like to do back lever on the rings because it's just a bit more comfortable on the joints. So set up for the first set. And the first set is normally a bit hard because you have to figure out where you are in terms of your body in space. And back lever, if you've ever tried it, right, like you do not know what is going on. You can feel straight even if you're at like a 45-degree angle or something. But with practice, I've actually been able to get decent awareness. So I do a few seconds of the full hold, and then I transition to straddle, and that's the end of the first set. In the second set, we have some fun that's going to go on here. So what I've been trying to do is, I've been able to do back lever for a little while now, but what I've been trying to do is to clean it up and get the time longer as well. And with that, I'm trying to reduce knee bend by pointing my toes towards myself a little bit, which is a bit hard to pull off in this position, but I'm trying to focus on that. I'm trying to get rid of knee bend, because if you point your toes like a gymnast, at least I find that can create a bit of knee bend. And this was a really nice hold that I got. This was 13.5 seconds. And it feels a lot longer when you're there, trust me. Like, you might have heard of a plank minute, which is where doing a plank, it feels like a minute is a long time. Back lever minutes are even longer than that, I'll tell you. Because everything's just crazy. The head rush is going mental. You feel like everything is tensing. Like, surprisingly, you use the legs a lot as well. You use the legs to keep you in place. Your calves and your quads and your hamstrings and your glutes are all acting as well. And this one, the third set that I did, was one of the cleaner holds that I managed. I was able to get decent holds, transition to straddle just to get a few extra seconds in. Then after that, I thought, you know what, let's have some fun. So let's do some knee hang sit-ups. And this might look like it's a bit whack. It might look like it's something that is more risk than reward. But it's fun, number 1. And second, it's actually fine because the creases behind your knees and your feet together give you like a tripod structure of stability. So it's not too bad. And I set the rings a bit lower to chest height and decided to warm up the support hold. So Holding yourself on rings is already relatively difficult, but you get used to it relatively quickly. But the full support hold is when you twist out to being supinated. So you have your palms facing outwards. Did a bit of an L-sit as well, and then an L-sit full set. So I did a bit of a quick L-sit for the warm-up, and now I'm doing an L-sit hold. Going for not my max time, but a relatively high time, like trying to get 20 plus seconds or so. And I've trained this weighted as well. The best weighted L-sit I did, ring L-sit, was 7.5 kg added for a few seconds, which was quite nice, for sure. After that, we get on to some incline dumbbell press. So I'm just warming up with 32 kg to start, nothing too crazy. And I think that it's very useful to train these accessories as well. So my goal for the 100 kg dip, added weight of course, 100 kg added, is to of course get stronger. And what helps you to get stronger, besides training the dips themselves, is to do these accessories that help you to develop the necessary strength. So I've got 44 kg dumbbells here, really trying to build that upper chest strength. And of course the shoulders and tries are working as well. But taking the 44s for a spin after everything else that I've done isn't too bad. It's more than my body weight after all. And this upper chest strength particularly helps you with the top portion of the dip. So that's quite nice to do for sure. And then I decide to go back down to 40 kg for the second set. So the way that I program things a lot of the time is I'll do lighter warm-ups, maybe 1 or 2, it depends on the exercise, sometimes 3, 4. Then I'll do a top set with the heaviest weight, and then I'll come down with back down sets where I go a bit lighter. So this is kind of like a pyramid structure that you can do, which is pretty tried and tested. It works decently well. So in the end, I got 44 kg for 4 reps and 40 kg for 7 reps after that, which isn't too bad. And then I've started to do skull crushers as well. So my form isn't exactly perfect with these. There's still a little bit of an imbalance going on. But this has been a good addition to add in as an accessory to improve my lockouts with triceps and stuff like that. It targets a bit of the other portions of the triceps that can't be isolated quite as well with dips. Like dips are goated with triceps, don't get me wrong. But this is a good variation to include for sure. And with the 100 kg dip, I did honestly expect that I'd be closer to it by now. Like it was one of the goals that I set early in 2025, because early 2025 dips were progressing a lot compared to how they were. I got to, from I think it was 50 kg, I got that up to 65 kg in the first few months of seriously training dips. I had done some other things before with dips, but now I was training them properly seriously. But it was surprisingly difficult to progress past that because I've been trying to train everything else in unison. But now I feel like I have some really good consistency in place. And yes, it's taking a bit longer than I expected, but I'm still happy with that. 65 kg added for 2, almost 3 reps I got. And then these accessories, I'm sure will unlock that more as well. This is the primary push day, but on the secondary push day, I'm starting to do bench as well. Got a PR with that of 100 kg for 8 reps. So I think if I really get my push strength up, I combine these things. Like this is the way you gotta do it, bro. This is the way that you can gain that strength, by doing these bigger compounds and then having these accessories to add to it. There's a reason why powerlifters train like this. If you're serious about strength, powerlifting, street lifting, Olympic weightlifting, any of these strength sports, compounds and accessories like this are going to be your best friend. And it's incredible just what you can achieve. And with these skull crusher sets, I've been trying to focus on keeping my elbows relatively tucked in, because that will help you to isolate the triceps a bit better. Again, this is something I've only started training recently. The weight is okay. The easy bar weighs 8.5 kg. Then we've got 15 kg aside, so the total weight here is 38.5, which is okay. But this is something, the next exercise, which I am a little bit more versed in, which is lateral raises. So for the first set, 14 kg I'm using, focusing on using my thumb and my pinky to come outwards and slightly forwards into this scapular plane, rather than using my arms necessarily, or rather than using the traps especially. And this way I found that I've been actually able to isolate the lateral delts pretty well. In the first set I used a little bit of momentum. Like, it's fine to use a little bit of momentum with lateral raises, and that's perfectly fine to put into action. And then for the second set I go a bit lighter in weight and focus on control. This is season 2 of the winter training arc, which was a series I began 2 years ago, and now season 2 is here. And you're going to see just what all of the training principles I've been talking about, how they look in action. And so if you want to achieve a lot of these results for yourself, 65 kg dip for multiple reps, back lever holds, pushing these accessories, having this strength that is limitless in all of these different realms, check out the link below. And as always, remember bro, keep improving.